Hey there, Pod Pals. Are you a print-on-demand creator looking to stay ahead of the curve? You want to know exactly when to launch your designs for every key season and event? How about a chuckle with an extra dad joke to brighten your day? If you said yes to any of these, then it's time to join the Print on Demand Cast VIP list. As a VIP, you'll get our free annual design calendar, an amazing guide to help you time your creations perfectly throughout the year. And of course, we'll include a bonus dad joke each week as well. Signing up couldn't be easier. Just visit printondemandcast.com/VIP and enter your email. Don't let another day of potential pass you by. Become a part of the VIP list, grab your annual design calendar, and let's dive into a year of inspired creating together. We'll see you on the other side.
Well, we're live. We're here. It's happening. Episode 200 is underway, and we're going to do it the right way. We're going to do the normal format, even though it's not a recorded show. It's a live show.
Live.
So this week on the Print on Demand Cast, we're going to get into your answers to the magic questions. So let's get into it.
If you're looking for a podcast that's fun, the Print on Demand Cast is second to none. Travis and Josiah, they keep it real. Dishing out advice with a comic appeal. The Print on Demand Cast, it's the best of the best. Covering all things print on demand. You won't be stressed. Weekly dad jokes to make you groan. But you'll keep coming back. It's the hit you've been shown.
Well, here we are, Travis. It was episode 200, and we did it. We went live on all three. There's green check marks in the corner. All three platforms we've gone live to. We tried to underpromise and overdeliver, and I feel like that's exactly what we did.
I feel like we need to ask our people if we are actually live on those other platforms.
Yeah, that's probably not a bad idea. If you are on any of those platforms and you want to interact with us, you can leave a comment. I know Facebook used to have some weird permission thing, but only to show your name. You could comment without us knowing who you are. So if you don't want to give Facebook more permissions than you seemingly think they've taken without your permission previously, just leave a comment and put your name in the comment so we know who it is that we are talking to. But man, it's been 200 episodes is nuts to me. That's almost just shy of 4 years. Is that?
Yeah.
I'm trying to do some math here. It's live. We don't have math. But 52 times 4 is 208. So in 8 episodes, it'll be the 4-year mark of the Print on Demand Cast, which is just crazy.
Yeah. I don't think either one of us ever thought that we would get this far.
No.
Or do this many episodes. And frankly, I don't know if there's 200 episodes worth of Print on Demand Cast stuff to talk about.
That's fair. Granted, there has been some rebroadcasts,
Sure,
stuff like that. Just life happens or schedules didn't quite sync up. But I want to say the last stretch of time, we've been avoidant of that rebroadcast.
We haven't had a rebroadcast in over a year.
Yeah.
So that's
huge.
cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. Hey, if you're just joining us here on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, welcome to the 200th episode. Fiona.
Hey,
Fiona is here in the house. I'm going to shout her out here. Hey, guys, never doubted you for a second. Thank you so much. You are one of the OGs fans of the Print on Demand Cast. And what time is it in Australia right now?
I think it's early.
Is it okay? So you're not.
It's early.
It's not obscenely late or obscenely early. It might just be the start of her day.
I don't know.
Let us know, Fiona. You can comment. But yeah, if you are joining us on these platforms, you can comment. Let us know that you're here. Say, hey, we're going to get to some of your recorded messages and the answers to the magic questions that you guys had. So we're super excited to get into that. It's 11 a.m.
Oh, okay.
So Rebecca, are you also in Australia, or did you Google that? I need to know.
Hey,
and you know what the thing is? Say what you want. I have no way to validate in this moment if you'd be telling the truth or not. But if it's 11 a.m., that's not too bad. So it's maybe a little lunch break time. But because this is the Print on Demand Cast and because it's an episode, we would be remiss if we didn't include The thing that I think might set us apart from any other print-on-demand show, and I ironically, unironically, whatever you want to say, it has nothing to do with the industry, but it's a favorite of ours. It's the weekly dad joke.
Time for the weekly dad joke.
All right, Travis, this is the 200th episode. What do you got for us in this week's dad joke?
Well, I just realized this the other day. Did you know, Josiah, that you and I both, we have 4 knees?
Like collectively?
No,
Individually?
I have 4 and you have 4.
I see 2.
No, well, you have a left knee.
Mm-hmm.
You have a right knee.
Mm-hmm.
You have a wee knee.
I know.
And a high knee.
If you're offended by that joke, I completely agree.
Oh my goodness. Take it away, Michael. That's this week's weekly dad joke. That's a good one. I like that. You texted that to me earlier, and I was impressed.
You devil.
I got it from one of my friends. I can't lie. Sometimes I get really good jokes from I'm in a little Facebook Messenger chat group with some guys. And, and I've gotten a few from the group, a few that I can't share on the show as well.
Yeah.
But I thought that one would, be good for the 200th episode.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. Hey, everybody, again, if you are joining us, you just joined us, you came in on the tail end of that magnificent dad joke. Like, comment, share, let people know that this is happening. Let us know that you're watching. Say hello. Where are you watching from? Apparently, we have 2 people from Australia, one that I know for sure, and one that has conspicuously not answered my question, Rebecca, whether you are or are not in Australia. But thank you guys so much for joining us. Again, this is the 200th episode of the Print on Demand cast. In the main event tonight in this episode, we're going to kind of go through. We asked you guys the last 2 weeks to send in your answers to the magic questions. What felt like a win in your business? What was a time that felt like a loss? And the magic 8-ball question that we always, the crystal ball question, what is the future of print on demand in your opinion? So if you're watching and you didn't send in a recording message or DM us, comment right now. Let us know what those answers would be. That's a win in your business, something that felt like a loss, and what you think the future of print on demand is. So we'd love to also shout you guys out and hear your feedback live here on the episode. So before we get to that, though, again, we're in a normal format here. We're not going to be as loosey-goosey as perhaps we have been in the past with our live episodes. You guys know what to expect. And just so you know, harnessing this in person to a format is not easy, but we do it for you. So we're going to move into this week's point of interest.
Point of interest.
We're realizing just now we could have actually done that live.
Yeah, we should have.
talked about doing it live forever.
Literally a piano right behind us.
There. And so that's a drop ball. I'll tell you that. That is for sure a drop ball.
Yep.
But the point of interest this week, I saw as I was perusing through Instagram and the reels and stuff like that, and Apple held their yearly conference, WWSDC, JD. There's bracelets maybe. I don't know. It's like if you're a part of the Apple cult, it's your Mecca, and this is like a national holiday for you. Okay. They talked about details of iOS 18 that they'll be releasing. And in large part, everything that they detailed in iOS 18, the Samsung Galaxy 4 had in 2008. But they're catching up, which is awesome because I'm an iPhone user. And so to have that capability, lots of customization happening, and you can change the color of your apps, and you can rearrange your stuff different now on the screen. Anyway, the thing that caught my attention that was kind of pertinent to what we've talked about here on the show is they're rolling out what they're calling AI, but it's not artificial intelligence, it's Apple intelligence, because there's a difference. But what that's going to allow you to do, amongst other things, if you guys want to go check this out, you can just search iOS 18 or Apple iOS 18. You'll have access to the whole kind of keynote that they gave, revealing all of these different features, which, by the way, I'm just a side note, finally, you can schedule a text message to send and a future time and date, which is something that
glorious.
I literally wanted for years.
I want to use it for myself.
That's what I'm, yeah, just like reminders.
Take out the trash.
Well, there's reminders. Well, it's.
I want to text.
I know you just want people to text you.
I do.
So guys, we're gonna put Travis's number on the screen and just text him whenever. He
slide into my DMs.
He loves that hit of dopamine anytime his phone rings. So we're enabling him because it's the 200th episode, and why not? But okay, I digress. Apple Intelligence, it's live. Apple Intelligence will allow you now to send what are called Genmojis. There's emojis, which has obviously been what we've been accustomed to for however many years. Now there's Genmojis, which sounded suspicious at the beginning when I first heard it, but turns out you can literally pull up the little screen keyboard and type anything into that bar. The example was a dinosaur skateboarding, and AI will generate 3 images for you to choose from of a dinosaur skateboarding that you can then send to your group chat to whoever you're texting. So the emoji experience, for whatever arbitrary reason, just became way more customizable for you, and you can send it as stickers. And the other thing you can do is take a photo of your a contact photo that you have, and it will create a what do they call that, a meme emoji of that photo for you with using Apple Intelligence that you can then save and use as stickers and emojis, which is crazy.
I'm having a hard time thinking about a conversation that I would be having that I would need an emoji of a dinosaur skateboarding. But I mean,
that's that person. You can
maybe that's the 300.
You can literally do it. I mean, we can, it's a poker night. You can say picture of Elmo playing poker or something, a puppet, a muppet, whatever.
This is important, guys. This is groundbreaking.
This is the stuff that we need to unite America. Of all the geopolitical things happening, this is the solution.
Yep.
So thank God that Tim Cook, thank God that Tim Cook and people at Apple drop a lot of acid and take ayahuasca to figure out these types of things. But before this turns into a Joe Rogan podcast, we'll stop talking about hallucinogenics. But yeah, check it out. You can just look up Apple iOS 18, and that is how you can educate. If you're an iPhone user, educate yourself on what's happening.
And if you're not, you're probably not watching anymore. So
yeah, if you're an Android user, you've had a lot of what's coming. So it's going to be fine. It's going to be fine. So, so we'll segue, I guess, to what we have in store. Kind of the whole reason that we're here, at least, to hear from you guys as you answer the magic questions in this week's main event.
Main event, 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 main event.
So, point of clarification that Travis just let me know in that 20-second bumper that our mics are muted. So some of you answered the questions. Others of you asked us a new question. Some of you have decided to just really inflate our egos and let us know how the show has helped you. So an old attaboy. And then others just kind of generally say congratulations and thanks. So it's going to be a smorgasbord of offerings that we have here, a charcuterie board, if you will, of things to pick and choose from as we delve into this episode. But Travis, before we dive into the main event, looking back over 200 episodes, what stands out to you as like, let's do this for the podcast? What's a moment that felt like a win?
Oh boy.
A moment that felt like, well, we'll just close up shop. And what is the future of the POD? those are, it's on the spot. It's an on the spot magic question.
All right. On the spot. So what felt like a win with the print on demand cast? I guess is what you're saying.
Yeah.
I think finally getting off our butts and starting.
That's what I was gonna say.
I mean, just
pressing record.
Yeah, we probably went a year or two.
Yeah.
Before we decided to actually jump in. So we would be celebrating potentially episode 300 instead of 200. So that was the win. The what felt like a loss, I think. It wasn't necessarily in the print on demand cast, but just the whole make your mark design and closing up the shop, and that was hard. And then actually like sharing that with the podcast audience, and saying, hey, this is the reality of business, and this is where I'm at. So but I felt like I feel like we've always been as transparent as possible and like shared all of the things,
right?
And so why not just be honest and share that too? So that was probably the downside. And then the future, the print on demand cast, I think I have been looking at doing some type of a group for quite a while, and I'm just trying to get content and make it. We talk about like, oh, we need to monetize the podcast, and like we put in 200 episodes, and we've gotten a few affiliate sales.
Sure.
When you guys buy Place It or Creative Fabric or whatever, go to our resources page and buy something from there. But really, it's just been something that we do every single week, and for a long time it was a lot of fun. It still is fun. But I think the future is hopefully some type of like a group or something that's like a paid kind of thing, that there's a little bit more in there for people. Everything from templates and downloadables and some of my spreadsheets that we've talked about on the show and different things like that, as well as just a community of people that can hopefully hold each other accountable and help each other. So that's my thought. I don't know when it's coming, but someday, somehow.
It's on the horizon.
Yeah.
It's in the distant, not too distant, maybe distant, equidistant future.
Mm-hmm.
I would say, my first for the win would be pressing record. Mm-hmm. And then I think also, the moment when we realize that people are listening, and they, getting feedback or an email or a comment, and, even the fact that the amount of people that responded to a request to contribute to the show is awesome. I think if I were to pick a moment that felt like a failure, it might be, it's kind of similar to what you were sharing, but when I kind of got out of the industry on a day-to-day basis, I was like, I'm not in it every day. I'm not actively learning and researching. I'm just, still sharing I have plenty of things to share, and insight and wisdom from the time that I was in the industry, but just that settling of like, okay, well, what do I now offer? What is my role now in terms of, I'm not in the day-to-day, so I'm not going to be as tight or caught up on the newest trends or knowledge. And then, the future, to your point, is that group or that extra content or that thing that you've been working on and trying to kind of formulate, like, what does this thing look like? Like, what is this baby going to look like when I birth it? Because it's gestating. But I think it'll be awesome when that does finally come to fruition. And, of course, all of you guys will know, be in the know. So if you have a question for Travis and I about the business, or about, how he got his hair so long, or about, my affinity for print on demand in the form of tattoos, whatever, you can just drop in the comments, and we'll also hit those as well. But let's get into the responses that we were given on the show. Who do you want to start with first? We got a lot of submissions. We got a lot of things to choose from.
Let's just start with the A's.
Okay.
Let's go with Andrew.
Okay.
Right off the top.
Let's do it. Let's see what Andrew has to say.
Hey guys, regular listener here, and Congrats, guys, on number 200. I'm about 14 months into my print-on-demand journey and been listening and reading a lot on the subject. And I think the future of print-on-demand is going to be automation. I've been experimenting a lot with AI to create designs and descriptions, and it's amazing and scary what these tools can do and how quickly they can do it. For me, I've been able to increase the time to market significantly. So ultimately, I think AI will lower the barrier to entry for print on demand. So I think we can expect more products, more people, and more competition. Just my 2 cents.
Yeah, I don't think he's wrong. We've talked a lot about automation and what that looks like, and the whole, what is that gray area if you're using AI for designs? Maybe not so much the bullet points or the copy of your listing, but the design itself. And who gets credit for that, or is it really just AI generated? So that part I think is still going to be a little murky. I guess.
I mean, it's happening. There's so many GPTs out there that are, designing people T-shirts and giving them the bullet points and giving them the, all of the things. We need to do a point of interest on a little piece of software that I was connected to. I didn't say pizza sauce. No, I said a piece of software.
You need to tell me.
A pizza software? That would be amazing.
I'm just
a GPT that would create pizza. Anyway, we need to do this thing. It's a software that creates a Amazon merch on demand design, a title, and your bullets for you, and then there's an uploader. So it's like all in one kind of thing, and I think that is only going to increase, just like Andrew said, and we've talked about it a lot on the show. And yeah, I mean, I have seen. I think there's a lot more competition. I think in 2020, when people were stuck inside and they were looking for things to do, a lot of people got into crafting and making mugs and shirts and tumblers and all of those things. And I think that was an automation, but it basically increased the number of products out there, and so kept creeping up as far as competition goes. And now you bring in automation and people are able to do it like that, and it's going to get more competitive. And so either AI is going to get better at like generating that stuff, which I'm sure they will, or I'm sure it will, or you're going to have to figure out a way to stand out from all of the other AI generated content that's out there. But Andrew, totally agree. Future of pod is absolutely automation.
Yeah, absolutely. All right.
Who's next?
Should we just go alphabetically except for the back-to-back? So
sure.
Okay.
That's fine.
All right. This is coming from Beck.
Hi, my name is Beck, and I'm from Australia, and I listen to the Print on Demand cast, and I think it's amazing. Now, what do I think is the future of print on demand? I reckon carpets, like proper carpets and furniture. I've recently had a win where I've pivoted from just doing kind of t-shirts that were not particularly customizable, and now I'm doing custom portraits of pets. And I've had a lot of friends order t-shirts and prints and stuff like that. So definitely customized stuff seems to be a whole lot more popular. And so I just want to say thank you to you guys for the wonderful, informative, encouraging, and very helpful podcast. And I love the dad jokes. Thanks.
Nice. So, Travis, you might have figured out something out here.
Yep.
And that is Beck Rebecca?
Ding, 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 ding.
I mean, she has maybe she does live in Australia.
Yep. She said it's 11 a.m.
That's why she didn't answer me. She was like, just play the clip. You know what I mean? Play the tape. You'll know. Know. I get it. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, Beck, I think we've kind of occasionally touch on the fact that home decor in print on demand is going to just
Blow up.
and it's scratching the surface of that. It is her. Thank you for your submission,
Thank you.
Rebecca. I'm sorry I questioned your Australian citizenship.
Or at least location.
Or location. Yeah, not your citizenship. That's a bridge too far. But no, love you guys being here from Australia or tuning in from Australia. It's awesome. So thank you so much. But yeah, so I think we're scratching the surface. You know, my wife got into a lot of home decor in her Etsy days, but it was very, very minimal in terms of I think the depth and breadth of things that will be offered in the not too distant future in terms of the things that will be able to be produced and sold for home decor.
Yeah, one of the things I remember, there's been a couple times when we've used the point of interest to talk about like the global proliferation of print on demand, and we've thrown out, you know, billion-dollar numbers and such, and a lot of those numbers do reflect like carpets and drapes and things that are already happening with like sublimation, because that's a major industry, and it allows for a quicker turnaround than actually spinning the yarn and, you know, this color and then this color and then this color. Well, you just make it all white and then you press it and it happens, you know, or the whatever the substrate is, the product, the carpet, the, you know, whatever. And you're actually seeing some of that on the print on demand vendor sites as well, with like shower curtains and you know, beach towels and larger products like that. So yeah, I agree, that is a future of print on demand, and I love that you've pivoted to doing the portraits of the pets, because I think that's super smart, and I know people, you know, they love their fur babies.
Oh yeah, 100%.
It's smart.
Yeah, and my wife often will find things that are Shih Tzu. We have 2 Shih Tzus. They're right outside that door, probably. And she'll send me things that are Shih Tzu related, and it's not even our actual dogs. But she's like,
we have to get there.
Yeah, I love it. And so, yeah, I think that's an awesome pivot to your point. I'm just doing some live looking here. We are on YouTube. We're not live on Instagram right now.
We're not?
I don't know why. It's not showing that we're live. So it shows that we're live here according to ye old StreamYard, but not actually. Do I have to hit go live?
Probably.
How? Why? Okay.
Now we're live on Instagram halfway through the show. So hi Instagram. Welcome to the show 27 minutes in.
Yep, just got to the notification that we've gone live, but it makes no sense. You have to say copy the key and then say you're going live. And so, welcome to the show. We'll catch you up. There was a dad joke. There was a point of interest where Apple decided to brand AI as Apple Intelligence because they want to own everything proprietary-wise. We found out that Fiona is joining us from Australia,
as well
as Rebecca, who knows what time it is, where they are, which is a good thing, and has verified that she does in fact live in Australia because she sent in a voice recording answering questions, and the accent was undeniably Australian. So you're caught up. Welcome to the show. I'm so sorry that my, quite frankly, my idiocy kept us from being live for the entire time. But we're glad you're here. If you're here on Instagram, if you found us, if you've been sitting around for 30 minutes wondering where in the wide world of sports we've been, here we are.
200 episodes of this, guys. I just,
200 episodes and 3 times live. I'm just going to say that.
Let's move on. Let's move on to Chris.
Let's go to
Chris's question. He has actually 2, so we'll just do one now and
then
maybe one later.
We'll circle back. Yeah, that guy sending him to classic Chris. Here we go.
Hey, Chris Grant here, and I've got kind of a twofer question. My first is, do you think that there is still money to be made in print on demand in 2024? And if so, what do you think the best way to go about it is for someone who just wants to get started? And then my second question is, what do you see on the horizon for the next 3 to 5 years for print on demand? Do we see that market growing, staying the same, or stagnating a bit? And how can we make sure that we are following the right trends to stay up to date and in the money, if you will, with print on demand? Thanks, guys. Look forward to hearing your answers.
I love how Chris says he has 2 questions and then he asks us 4 or 5. But
Yeah.
that's Chris. Chris is a good friend of mine. I actually said, hey, would you record something before we got a lot of other things in? And so he put a couple questions out there for us. But and then we'll ask or talk about his other question, because I really like his other recorded question later that is, again, 2 or 3 or 4 questions. But on this one, yeah, of course, there's still money to be made on print on demand. Making it every single day. What's the best way to get started? And that is the hotly debated topic, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Because you have, and we've talked about this a million times, you have the Etsy, Amazon, Walmart kind of existing channels route where the traffic is brought to you by the channel, or you have the Shopify route, which gives you full control, has better margins because you're not paying a percentage to the channel that you're selling on, but you forfeit a lot of that margin by the advertising that you have to spend in order to get people to that.
To find you.
Yes, and there's a lot of testing. So if you don't have a lot of money to start, it may be smart for you to go the channel route, because if you do have a little bit of money you can spend, it might be better for you to create a brand on Shopify and use that money, that capital, to begin testing your advertising and testing your designs with advertising and trying to find those winners. But you're going to spend more that way. But the opportunity to hit a winner and like what you can do when you find one is really, really pretty amazing. Compared to on Amazon or Etsy or whatever, you can still really, really do well. It's just a matter of they're going to take a cut, and you're going to be limited by the platform in some ways. That's just the way it goes. So there's kind of a best of both worlds too, is like testing them on those channels and then launching a Shopify site once you have found the winner, using the test, using the free or 20 cents a listing on Etsy, those less expensive channels to test, and then going the Shopify route. But again, you're going to have to spend money on those ads. That's just the way it goes. You get traffic there.
I feel like we touched on that on a recent episode. I feel like in terms of that difference, and again, tied in the mall analogy, to print on demand and the channels that are available to you. In terms of the future of POD and following the right trends, it's a great question, because I feel like it might be even trend dependent on how you can stay on top of them, because you've got people who have their ear to the ground in terms of pop culture, and something happens, like Will Smith slaps Chris Rock across the face in the Oscars one year, and then in an hour and a half there's T-shirts referencing that moment, because people are just so tuned in and know what could potentially equal or qualify to be a trend or something that's going to take off or become viral, and capitalizing on that. I think that's different, maybe, and I'd love to hear your opinion. Is that different from market trends, where you're capitalizing on something that's virally trending? And is there a difference between those two things?
There's so much we could say about this, and because there's, on the one hand, there's the Everbees and the E-ranks and those things that will show you what is actually selling, and that is a way to find trends. However, when you're finding those trends, they are already being capitalized on. So
there's a reason there's data that's telling you it's trending.
Exactly, because that data means that there have been sales. So you may have missed it by the time you see it on E-rank and Everbee. And those types of softwares. Google Trends is a great, option as well. It's kind of the same thing though, because you have to kind of see it at the beginning and hope that it goes up. I think one of the best ways to kind of answer Chris's question here, anytime you can find two different niches that you can overlap and create a super niche, or a super trend, So I've used this many times on the podcast, this example of back when Trump was president and he was, the whole wall thing. And I made a mug. It was Valentine's Day, and it had a cartoon picture of Trump with hearts. And then there was a wall behind him, and it said, "I want you on my side of the wall." And it didn't matter if you were Republican or Democrat or none of the above. It was funny because it was trending. Like, that was in the news. Everybody knew about Trump and the wall. And it was also Valentine's Day. And so this was a sweet way of saying, "I love you," And so that became a real winner for us. It was a big, big hit for us. And so anytime you can do something like that and hit something that's going on in the news along with like a holiday or something like that, you have a good opportunity to kind of hit a winner. And I would call that, that's, if you can't have a t-shirt up in an hour and a half after Chris Rock gets slapped, that's the next best thing.
Yeah, for sure. And Rebecca comments and says, "I'm really struggling with ads, to be honest."
Yeah.
And I think you and I have talked about potentially either doing like or having you do a Pod Essentials episode about ads, because you yourself have been kind of immersed in that world as of late with one of the projects that you're putting out or kind of getting ready to launch.
Yeah,
it could be with Father's Day, literally, this Sunday. So maybe, if you have something that you want to share in terms of ads now, we probably could. Or do we want to just save that and say, hey, we're going to do an episode on it, and we're going to go real in depth, because it's one of those topics that if you underserve it, it feels like you're more confused than maybe.
Yeah, I think the challenge is like it's hard to do an audio episode, even a video episode on ads, because there's so much and it's so detailed. It's something that as I was talking about having kind of a community, like a paid community, paid membership. It's not going to be expensive, guys, but that would be something that we would probably put in there and talk about and like have some coaching sessions, I guess, on that. I mean, the other option would be to simply hit me up at info@printondemandcast.com, and we can talk about, I do have like an hourly rate, and I can help you kind of set some of that stuff up if you want to do that. No pressure, but I mean, we could maybe do some type of an overview of Facebook ads as an episode. I just think getting into the nitty gritty would be really a pain in the butt.
Yeah, that's probably true, even though we'd like to do that.
Let's get down to the nitty gritty.
Sure. So, all right, we're going to get into the next submission here, and this is from Ursi, and she's not necessarily answering or asking a question. She's just saying,
"You guys rock.
You guys are amazing." So let's cut to that as soon as possible.
Hey, Travis and Josiah. This is Ursi. Congratulations on reaching your 200th episode. The Print on Demand cast has been an incredible resource for my business, and I'm so grateful for all the valuable insights and practical advice that you've shared. The episode on using a spreadsheet to keep my processes and SKUs organized has been a game changer, and it's actually improved my efficiency. And all the discussions on mindset and setting habits, they've had a positive impact on my approach to both business and everyday life. And I really just want to thank you for your dedication and for fostering a supportive and informative platform and podcast and community. Cheers to many more episodes and continued success.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Ursi. And you made Travis's day with the spreadsheet. He is very excited about you having just said that for everyone to hear. But I really appreciate that feedback. I mean, it's really cool, again, to hear that the things we're putting out there are beneficial. And especially, sometimes talking about the mindset and the why. And like, I know we've done like different kinds of spouses, entrepreneur spouses, and
someone talked about that later.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's awesome. Those, I'm mostly, I think I listened to one of these fully through. Okay. So I'm blind reacting to most. But the things that seem kind of periphery to maybe the meat of the business, I think like mindset, attitude, thankfulness, gratitude, all those things that we've touched on, I think are some of my favorite episodes, just because those are things that I enjoy talking about in terms of the approach to business. So it's awesome to hear that that has also been beneficial for you as well.
Yep.
Anything to say to
No, Ursi, thank you. I agree. I love the whole kind of get organized, get your stuff together type episodes. Of course, I talk about the spreadsheet stuff all the time. That's my jam. And then just like it, the mindset stuff is your jam. And I know we've also talked about like planning and goal setting and things like that, which are also just as important. And so that whole business kind of side of the Print on Demand cast is something that I'm proud of, I guess.
Yeah.
We're not just talking about trending niches and all that stuff. We're actually trying to help people like do better business.
Yeah.
So even if you don't, there's people who started way back when, and they're probably not even doing print on demand anymore, but maybe they took something away into their next venture. But, yeah, that's all I got to say about that. Let's hear from our other friend in Australia.
To the OG, one of the OG POD fans, Fiona. Let's hear what she has to say.
Hey guys, happy 200th episode. Fiona Darcy here. I remember the first 100th episode like it was, only last week. I just wanted to say thank you so much for everything I've learned from you guys. You're amazing. I know I haven't been around much in the last couple of months with everything going on I've had to health-wise, but that's neither here nor there. So I really, just wanted to say congratulations again, and thank you so much for everything I've picked up from the podcast and from you guys and everything you've shared, and it's been fantastic. The knowledge I couldn't even pinpoint. There was so many gold nuggets in every episode that it was just it was brilliant, and it helped set me on the course that I ended up opening the shop and was doing really well. Unfortunately, as you probably know, I had to close it due to health reasons, but I really appreciate everything, and I couldn't have got there without you guys. So happy 200th episode. That's fantastic. I'm not going to lie, I didn't doubt it for a second, and I look forward to the 300th. But in the meantime, keep up the great work, and have a beer for us. See you guys.
Awesome, Fiona. Thank you so much for that submission. I think Fiona was on the show.
Yeah.
She was in episode 81, I believe, in the archives, where she kind of tells a little bit more of her story and what was going on at that time in her life, which was awesome to be able to have. I think she was one of the first listeners that we were like, you should just come on the show and share your story. For those that are watching, listening, Fiona, you did share on Facebook with us that her health issues, heart issues, causing her to shut down almost overnight. And so you're going to definitely know that Travis and I, prayers, positive vibes, whatever it is that you subscribe to, we are sending them your direction for continued recovery and journey in your health as well. And very proud of you for still sticking to it, still pursuing it, even if maybe you had that setback initially where that kind of made you change what the vision was for the business. But it's always been great to hear from you in Facebook comments on the shows. And so just thank you so much for your continued support of Travis and I on the show.
Yeah, I remember. We've talked about this on the show as well. Fiona has probably listened to every episode of the show multiple 5, 6, 7 times.
Yeah.
I don't know as many times now that she doesn't have the actual shop that she's going to every day. But they would literally just have the show go one podcast to the next podcast to the next podcast on loop in their shop all the time. So Fiona, we love you. You are a PODcast OG, and hats off to you. Thank you so much for participating in our 200th episode.
Yeah, absolutely. So we have next, who do we have coming up? Jenny, let's hear what Jenny has to say.
So I want to share how the Print on Demand cast has helped me with my print on demand journey. So I only have 3 organic sales to my shop so far, but I'm totally okay with that. I know that I'm building something up from the bottom up, and that I'm doing what I can with the time that I have. And over time, I'm confident it's going to pay off. And like a lot of people, I started off with some really grandiose plans and probably some delusions of grandeur that the whole world would love my design ideas and I'd be a millionaire by the end of the year. But luckily, I stumbled upon the Print on Demand cast. Travis and Josiah knocked me down a few pegs to reality, and I learned that I wasn't all that. However humbling it was what I needed to get serious. So I found episodes that helped me determine how serious I was about running a print on demand shop, as well as, what the various stages of success are. I even learned what category of support my husband is in, which that was hugely helpful. And he's amazing, by the way. And another thing is the technical knowledge that you guys share. Like, the machines and the provider side of the business. And that's just hugely insightful. So I can't even articulate how much I've learned from your podcast. So thanks so much. And keep on keeping on. Thanks, guys. Bye.
Awesome, Jenny. Thanks, you
Jenny.
so much for setting it. We didn't mean to
Smash your dreams.
I hope that's not what happened. But yeah, in one of our, in the early days of the show, we haven't used it as much lately, but we always used to play this noise. Pivot! Because you have to pivot. To your point, you had maybe some high, lofty expectations, but then being able to view it through maybe a little more practical lens, being okay with pivoting what that end goal looks like for now. Yeah. To your point, Jenny, with the time that you have to invest in your business and realizing what that time invested could legitimately result in as an end product, and not wanting something that would require you to invest 40 when you only were investing 10, because that just wasn't realistic. So kudos to you for being able to pivot and be flexible and malleable, as we've talked about. And I'm glad that your husband is supportive and that the episode helped you, which is awesome.
Yeah, that's episode 170, the 4 types of entrepreneur significant others. And then she also referenced episode 172, which is the stages. Stages of success as a print on demand owner. So if you are new to the show, make sure you go listen to 172. I think that's kind of a real poignant episode that really kind of helps you identify where you're at and then what you can do to move forward. So thanks for bringing those up, and appreciate you doing this. I found out that she actually is in bed with COVID right now.
Oh no.
And so she like messaged me back and said, my voice sounds terrible. No, you're fine. This was great. So also, I just pointed that out in front of the entire audience. So you're welcome.
It's okay. They're all the most social distance they could be from her. Right?
That is true.
That's great. All right, let's go to our next submission from Cindy.
Hey, this is Cindy Gozansky, and I am a huge fan of the Print on Demand cast. I've been listening for a couple years now, and I feel like I know Travis and Josiah, even though they don't know me, but they have really helped me expand my print on demand business. I have an online shop on Shopify and Etsy. I'm also a podcaster. I just love what they create and the resources and availability that they offer to listeners with so much. I've learned so much from them, from expanding my products to different methods. And then once I found out they had a Facebook group and joined their Facebook group, which is amazing, I got even more community and help there. So guys, I love what you're putting out there in the world. Thank you so much for all of your efforts to help us grow our businesses and learn how to be better with our own print-on-demand shops. You're the best. Keep it up.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Cindy.
Thanks, Cindy.
That's great. And she has a podcast too.
I know.
Is it Tanigo? Is it industry specific to print on demand? Or either way, Travis and I love talking to people for extended lengths of time, if you couldn't tell. So if it is print on demand related, let us know. We'd love to hop on and chat and learn more about you and hear your story as well. So that'd be awesome.
It's the Cindy show. I don't know that. I just made that up. I have no idea.
I was so close to Googling that. Just so close. But yeah, I'm so happy that we've been able to help you. And yes, the Facebook group as well is awesome. Glad that you're getting or gleaning from there as well. Right. My favorite thing about the Facebook group is, of course, that people will be learning from one another, and it's not always Travis and I answering or giving advice. So it's just a good place for that community to be built. So
yeah. And thanks for listening for like a couple of years. That's awesome. Yeah. Thanks, Eddie.
Yeah. It's like, because it's almost been 4. So yeah, it's probably another OG of the show. All right, let's go to Susan with her message.
Hey, Travis and Josiah. This is Susan Curran, a POD podcast listener, and I just wanted to say thank you so much for all of the information that you put out there. The POD 101 series that you guys did and put all in one place on your website was super helpful for getting my feet off the ground and just telling me what I needed to do. And I also really love the Facebook group. You guys are super accessible, and if people have questions, we can hop in there and ask it, and the community there is there to help answer questions, and you guys are there to help answer questions. So thanks again, and congratulations on 200 episodes.
Awesome. Thanks, Susan. Do we mean to put 2 plugs for our Facebook group back to back? Or did that just work out that way? Was that just kismet? Yeah, that's awesome. And yeah, the POD 101 series is on the website. So again, it's one of those things where if you were just starting in the business and you kind of want to know, and we're talking, when we say granular, in that particular episode, let's get down to the nitty gritty. We get down to the nitty gritty. From opening an LLC and S Corp and all this other stuff that you might not even know is a thing when trying to pursue POD in terms of a business or a side hustle. What's the difference? So that's on the website. You can find that. I would say those series of episodes are also pretty important if you are just starting out. And then, the Success Pyramid episode that we referenced earlier in the POD personality type, I think is another one.
Yeah, that's 172.
Really good. 172, yeah. So that is also a good collection, good starting place if you're new to the industry and new to the show. So Susan, thank you so much for contributing to this episode. It means the world to us, and we're very, very thankful that you are a regular listener. So
yeah, thanks, Susan.
Maybe one day there's like call in. That'd be cool.
Technology.
It's there. Apple Intelligence will do it at some point. All right, let's go to our next submission here from, this guy, okay. So we all have that one uncle, right? And this show as an entity is not immune to that one uncle. And so if you've been listening to this show for any length of time, you already know. If you don't know what I'm talking about already, it's happening. But if you're new to the show, we have a recurring guest, and by recurring, I mean it's been a minute, but he's here now in spirit and through his voice message. Uncle Mike is back on the show. He is going to answer some questions and tell us how the show helped him. So, Tio Miguel, it's all you.
Hey guys, what's up? It's Uncle Mike. Yes, I'm still around. I'm just micro-focusing on what I've been working on, but I want to give these guys a hand answering these questions for their 200th episode. All right, number 1, share about a time when something happened in your business that felt like a win. I would say anytime we were able to use software or are able to use software either off the shelf or that we wrote to automate something, that's a win. I'm a big IT guy and I firmly believe in software and solving problems. All right, number 2, share about a time when something happened in your business that felt like a failure. I'd say COVID. We weren't positioned well. We lost 40% of our business pretty much overnight. A lot of our stuff was company swag and funny shirts the guys wore to the bar. So, yeah, that sucked pretty bad. Number 3, what do you think the future of POD is? I'd say at this point, personalization on non-standard items, things like bathroom soap dispensers, spatulas, car air fresheners, pretty much anything you cannot get at one of the big POD or POD blank suppliers. And number 4, how has the podcast helped you in your print-on-demand business? I'd say it's just been nice knowing that there are other sellers out there, having the same struggles, the same wins as I am. And, there's comfort in understanding that you're not the only one. I'd also say this podcast has been great at giving me a heads up on things coming down the pipe before they blow up. So that's been awesome too. Anyways, congratulations on 200 episodes, guys. And I look forward to the next 200.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Uncle Mike. It is good to be hearing from him. I didn't listen to that, so I didn't know that I called him out, and then he immediately referenced the fact that he's not been around. But it's good to hear from you, man. And super thankful for you. And for those that don't know, peeling the curtain back a little bit, there was a season there where Mike was really helping Travis and I kind of organize into linear thought what this could be, what it could grow into. And so he's done a lot to help us both on the show. I know he's done a lot for Travis and Make Your Mark. And so there's lots of relational elements on the behind the scenes, I guess. But yeah, Mike, thanks so much for sending in those answers, man. It was great.
Yeah, I love the future of print on demand. Obviously, he's talking about like the seller side with personalization on non-standard items. And we've been talking about that, Mike and I, for years now. And he's trying to put that into practice with different strategies and things that are kind of even trade secrets, I think, for him. And but I agree. I think anytime you can find something that nobody else is doing, it's back to that whole trend thing with Chris. And you know what, we should get back to his question.
Oh yeah,
second question.
Sent a second question.
Yeah,
that's a good thing that you mentioned that.
I know, because I totally forgot. We were like, that's it. We're gonna be done.
Yeah, be done with it. But Chris, your second question shall be heard. Here we go.
Hey guys, Chris here again, and I was wondering, do you guys think that there are any businesses out there, maybe quote unquote blue collar businesses or brick and mortar businesses that could supplement either their brand or their business with print on demand? And if so, what do you think the verticals are that might do best with that? And what do you think some of the best ways for regular businesses could use print on demand to supplement their current businesses? And is there a market for people to coach these folks or consult with these folks, and how they might be able to add this to their business?
All right.
Yeah, I think yes. We had Nick on the show. What's his last name? Nick Eden. Yeah.
Yeah. Let me find where that's at.
Yeah, you can find that. And we talked a lot about, he was using print on demand. He'd done some stuff with like pizza boxes and things like that. And we did talk about how to potentially use that for service industries, restaurants, things like that. Obviously, every bar needs a t-shirt, so how can you potentially be part of that? I think that there is a massive opportunity for somebody who has kind of that I'll beat the streets mentality to go around and coach people up on how to do this and how to win with, Taco Tuesday, the taco joint or whatever, T-shirt Tuesday, and somebody's wearing your advertisements around town and they get 25% off on their bill. And you, as the person to put it all together, gets a profit every time someone buys that. And you create the little table toppers and, the whole deal. I mean, that's one way. I think that if you really, really dug into this whole, like, taking print on demand off of the internet and bringing it to the streets, so to speak, to brick and mortar, there's probably a whole lot of opportunity.
And we've talked about that forever. Like, what would that look like?
Yeah.
To bring that customizable Etsy experience to a brick and mortar store.
Yeah.
And because there was it SGIA where they were like, hey, pick a blank and then airdrop this photo.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm going to
that.
Yeah. Yep. And I'm just going to laser print it or UV print it onto this journal for you.
Yep.
And now you have a gift, which is was a wild experience.
Yeah.
So I think to do, if you could do that and have people come in and maybe couple it with like grab a drink while you're waiting or, have the kind of a lounge experience while they're getting their custom product made.
Or like a gift shop in a heavily touristy area, like Estes Park, or one of these other towns that we have here in Colorado, all over the place. People already do transfers there. They're like, oh, I want that on a gray sweatshirt. Well, what if you could say airdrop your photo as well that you just took down the street in front of the stream or whatever, and then have it say Estes Park on the top. So there's definitely a lot of opportunity with this whole thing. So yes, Chris, yes. And I think that there's definitely a way for people to coach people and help people understand the opportunities. That's what we do every week, right, baby?
So we're here. We're doing. This is the 200th time we've done it. So it's no big. By the way, that episode with Nick Eden that Travis is talking about, let me confirm because I looked at it. It's episode 55 in the Print on Demand Cast archives. That was a great conversation.
Yeah, it was. That was a good one. We even rebroadcast
We did. Yeah, it was 55, and then 88 was the rebroadcast of that show. But yeah, it was great. And so thank you guys. Thank everybody who submitted answers, and everyone that joined on the live stream, everyone that's commented. If you're watching, if you're listening to this and you didn't get a chance to listen live, that's completely fine. If you have answers to these questions, you can go to printondemandcast.com/Facebook and say, hey, I listened to the 200th episode on Wednesday. Here's what I think, or here's my answers, or here's why you guys are the best dad joke connoisseurs that I know on God's green earth. Any of those types of things we'll gladly accept in terms of a post in the Facebook group. But you can do that. You can also email us, info@printondemandcast.com as well. But don't think because the live is ending that your opportunity to contribute to this conversation is over, because that's not true. We'd love to hear from you still. Travis, anything else that we want to hit before we wrap up this 200th episode?
I think we've been saying it the whole time, but this show doesn't matter without you guys. And nobody, without anybody to listen, we're just talking into the wind, which probably we do anyway. But we do really want to say how much we appreciate you guys tuning in week after week, month after month, year after year. It does mean a lot to us. It means a lot that you guys would send in this, these encouraging notes and take and participate in this way. So if you are listening and, like Josiah said, you didn't get a chance to participate, you still want to, please feel free. There's nothing that says we can't shout out or play a voice message on the 201st episode.
We make the rules here.
We do.
It's our sandbox.
But we appreciate the heck out of you guys. We really do. And we're just so thankful that you guys would bring us into your world each week.
Yeah, absolutely. So again, I echo everything Travis has said. And also, this is the start of season 6. If you're a long-time listener to the show, you know that we like to throw arbitrary season numbers at these things. And what better time to start a brand new arbitrary season than the 200th episode of the show. So with that being said, for Travis, I'm Josiah. We'll see you in episode 201.
See ya.
Hey, babe. Thanks for listening to this week's episode of the Print on Demand Cast. We hope you enjoyed the Totally Tubular Show. If you've got a question or a suggestion for the show, send Travis and Josiah an email at info@printondemandcast.com. Want to be wicked nice? Take a minute to rate and review the show on iTunes or wherever you get your podcasts. And don't forget to subscribe now so you don't miss next week's episode. See you next time, for sure.
Is this thing on?
No, Travis, you have to push a button.
What?
It's the 200th episode. This is what I deal with. So everyone knows.
Is this on?
This is what happens.
In a world where businesses everywhere are trying to make print-on-demand sales, one podcast goes above and beyond every week to bring the most POD-specific information there is, all to help save the day every day. Don't succumb to the enemies of your print-on-demand business. Sign up today for the Print on Demand Cast VIP email at printondemandcast.com/VIP. This time, it's for real.